This is my second video in regard to helping loved ones who are in nursing homes or hospitals, or actually at this stage of the game of the explanation of these tips before they end up in a nursing home or in a hospital. In my first video, I spoke of the need to designate a healthcare proxy for your parent or a loved one. Maybe you've got an elderly aunt or uncle who doesn't have a spouse any longer, and there's nobody there to help them, with those decisions. The point of the healthcare proxy, just like in an auction, if you have a proxy bidder, that means that somebody you've sent to the auction who will do the bidding for you. Well, in this case, for the elderly person whom you're trying to help, who can't make decisions any longer, they're just mentally incapable. And I'll give you a heads up as to why it's very important. Because, of course, if you don't, the healthcare facility or the nursing home will make those decisions for the patient. And saw many examples with my own situation with my mom, how those weren't good ideas that these institutions, the hospitals, would come up with. And I tell you what, you search YouTube for like nursing home injustices or things like that, or hospital, mistreatment, you'll find boatloads of that stuff. In fact, at some point when, I don't have anything else to do during the day, I might just make one of these videos after watching one of those videos, and that'll stir the fire in my belly. And I'll talk to you real heart to heart about some of the things that I dealt with, which I will, Lord willing, coming up in some of these, coming up in these soon to come videos. I think it is very important that this information be gotten out there. So once again, healthcare proxy, but do so before the person is at the point of a troubled mental state, because you might also run into opposition with, heaven forbid, but with family members or someone who might want to bring that up and make an issue of the fact of the mental competency of the person who signed, like say, you over as their healthcare proxy. Unfortunately, I had this kind of situation happen in my own family, which was a total, what do you call that when somebody whacks you upside the head when you're not expecting it? Sucker punch, to me, that occurred. But yeah, once again, so this video really, I guess I'm just going to suggest that you get that healthcare proxy thing settled, years before there's even a slight chance. Your parents might think it's a joke, but just assure them, I want to help you when the time comes. You might also have them make a clear statement, if not write out what their wishes are for when the time comes. There's a thing called, at least in New York State, I'm not sure if this is something that's throughout every state, but it's a MOLST form. I may just tell you what that stands for in the next video. I should have remembered that I might have mentioned it here and told you what that stands for, but it's MOLST, M-O-L-S-T, a MOLST form. It's usually pink, and that's the next thing that we'll discuss in the coming video. But this one here, once again, healthcare proxy. Do it before they're too old enough to, be able to even write their name, which my mom was almost at that point, and maybe I'll show you that document. It's a cherished document of that I have. It's just because it was at the point where she had a hard time writing her name, but that became an issue, and then get them to look over that MOLST form even, and go over that with them. All right, next video, Lord willing, we'll be talking about the thought of how when you go to go check out some nursing homes before it comes to the point where they just get dropped in one, because that was also an unfortunate circumstance with my situation, and I wouldn't like to see that. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy, which I can't think of who my worst enemy is, but I don't know if I got any. Maybe there's some people that don't feel that way about me, but I pretty much like everybody. Well, except the current person I'm drawing pictures for is, no, not really. Thanks for stopping by. Turn this thing off somehow here.